I'm about to leave for a New York trip this weekend. I wanted to read books that take place in New York. What we're starting with is By a Thread by Lucy Score. This is a rom-com. It's pretty thick. I've read a good majority of it and I'm planning on finishing it on the plane to New York. It is a grumpy boss romantic comedy. The only books I've read by Lucy Score is The Christmas Fix, when I read a bunch of Christmas rom-coms in December, but I haven't read her like really famous series. So far, the setup for this rom-com is that they both live in New York. They meet at a pizza place because the boss guy comes in with his mom and he's in a terrible mood and he takes it out on a server, our main girl Allie, and he's rude to her and she's rude back and they argue and then he gets her fired. The mom, the boss's mom, in order to like make up for that, offers Allie a job at their company that they run. It's kind of their back and forth, and they both have pretty complex backstories and parental relationships, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'll give you my final thoughts when I finish it. The vibes for this one are very much like fast-paced, New York City, office. It's a fashion brand. It's a magazine, like fashion label. It's called Label. I'm gonna finish this on the plane and then I'll tell you what I think when I finish it. Okay guys, so I'm in New York with my friend Promise, and she's behind the camera right now. I'll add a clip of Promise so you can see her. Hi! Hi guys, so the audio in that clip was awful. I'm filming it at home now instead. As I was editing it, I was like, yeah, I really don't think I can do this. So if I can't do it, there's no way you can listen to it either. What I was saying in the clip is that I finished By a Thread, that it was really cute. It was a fun rom-com. However, I feel like if you're just in it for like banter and a good time, I think that it's a good book. But there was a lot of spice. There was a lot of lust. Like it wasn't just spicy scenes. It was also like they were just talking about it a lot. And that was like the whole plot, was that because they work in the same building, they can't sleep with each other, and it was like trying to resist each other. So if you're not into that, that's your warning that it's probably not the book for you. But like overall it was fine. I think it was good, like fast-paced New York vibes. They had good backstories, but other than that I was kind of like, okay, and I'm done. So like star-wise, I would say like 2.5, 3 stars. After that I read Department of Speculation by Jenny Offill. This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like.
I read this in a day. I give my final notes like at the end, but I kind of wanted to intro the book a little bit. Basically, it's about this woman who's married and she's writing letters to her husband in the first half. So the first half is in second person. The last half is in third person, and it's about her, like the wife is kind of how she's referred to. It's really interesting. It's not a feel-good book. It's not a light-hearted read for New York. It was definitely much more thought-provoking, heavier, a little more depressing and sad, because it goes through, these are all the things that can like hit a marriage that you have to figure out, like we going to be able to make it through or not, and like dealing with having children and dealing with your husband having an affair, like dealing with all these things in this short little book. Like it's very little. It's like 120 pages, I think. It's definitely much more speculative and thought-provoking than it is lighthearted. So that's kind of why I arranged like my B-roll clips the way that I did, because with each of these like B-roll cuts of like things in New York, I wanted it to feel like how I felt when I read the book. So the way that I edited those clips together is kind of how this book feels. And then at the end of all those clips, I'm going to read some of my favorite quotes from it to give you kind of an idea of what the book was like. I'll let those clips play now. That year we got Christmas cards from his relatives, some with those letters tucked inside. S got a promotion and is now vice president of marketing. T has a new baby and started an organizing business called Sorted. L and V have given up rice and sugar and bread. My husband won't let me write one. We send a smiling picture instead. Dear family and friends, it is the year of the bugs. It is the year of the pig. It is the year of losing money. It is the year of getting sick. It is the year of no book. It is the year of no music. It is the year of turning 5 and 39 and 37. It is the year of wrong living. That is how we will remember it if it ever passes. With love and holiday wishes. When we visit his parents, my daughter tries to learn to swim at the indoor pool. I watch her serious, scrunched up face, eyes closed, counting 1 stroke, 2 strokes. A few days later, she is up to 50. Then my husband arrives from Brooklyn, and she insists we rush him straight from the airport to the pool. But when we get there, she won't do it. I am tight-lipped, resentful of all the fuss she is required to be made, the great anticlimax of it. My husband falls asleep in a deck chair as we are deliberating. He has been up all night spraying poison. His mother, bright-eyed, gentles her through the water. Once a swimmer, always a swimmer, she says. A thought experiment courtesy of the Stoics. If you are tired of everything you possess, imagine that you've lost all these things. So I finished Department of Speculation. I think that if you want something moody and you want to read something specifically for the writing and a commentary on life and marriage, I think it's worth reading if you're in the mood for that sort of thing because it was really well done. So like on Goodreads, I'll probably rate it like 3 stars. And then next, I'm reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. It's the story of a woman's life in New York City. So I'll let you know what I think when I finish it. I finished The Bell Jar, and I want to start by saying when I was planning this trip to New York, I told my friend Promise one of the places I wanted to go was this bookstore that I've had pinned on my Pinterest board since I literally created my Pinterest account, probably when I was like 13 years old. It's always been on my fall board, and I've always wanted to go, and I'll put the picture up that I pinned literally over 10 years ago. We ended up going. After me taking like a couple clips, a lady came up to me and told me that I wasn't allowed to film, so I only got these couple clips, but it was really cute inside. I ended up taking pictures outside of the building, so here's some of those. And that's where I bought The Bell Jar. That was like such a cool experience, and I'm so glad I got to go. Anyway, The Bell Jar, I knew going into it was going to be kind of sad. I think for a piece of feminist literature, I think often what we see nowadays is writings about women that don't want to be what society says they should be, and to the point where the female main character can often be kind of annoying because she's not like other girls. And it ends up being kind of pick-me, at least in some of the books that I've read more recently that are written in modern times. That can tend to be the majority of female protagonists in a lot of stories, where this, and it's about a girl who's in college and she spends a summer in New York City, and she isn't like other girls and doesn't want to do the like married and never do anything other than raising children thing. Like she doesn't have a passion for that. She wants to not be boxed into one thing. And while that can sound like, oh, it's like a lot of other books, the way that it portrayed her dealing with mental health issues and like how society handled women with mental health issues or struggles at that time was really interesting. The writing was so well done. It's interesting that it's semi-autobiographical, like the author took pieces of her own life as inspiration. It's definitely one of those classics that you should read, and it is not difficult to understand. A classic book can be kind of daunting because there are some that are just difficult to read, but this one was not. It's interesting to see someone experience depression and how their experience of the world and of their self is so different than the reality of self. Then like you get into the question of like, okay, if my perception of self and the reality that I'm living is different than true reality, which one is more important? Because if what I'm experiencing of myself is not real, but isn't that your reality? It just gets, it's an interesting concept because it's hard to escape that reality that you're living in, even if it's not quote unquote the true reality. Like for example, she talks about pretty consistently like wanting to be able to like tell people like, but I'm not sleeping and I'm not eating and I don't enjoy anything anymore. Yet also realizing like, well, I can't have actually gone a month without sleeping, I must be sleeping, because that's not physically possible. Or like, oh, but I actually realized that I have been eating a lot, but it feels as though she's not sleeping and she's not eating and she's not enjoying anything, and yet some of those things are still happening. So then how do you continue to live your life when reality isn't matching up to your perception of it and your perception of self? The idea of I think therefore I am comes into play. So if that's kind of your thing, you would really enjoy it. It's also hard for me to rate classics like star-wise. They're so highly acclaimed, it feels wrong to like have anything other than a 5-star, but I would say for me it's not like the most impactful book I've ever read, so it's not necessarily a 5-star for me. I would probably rate it like a 4.5, because it was incredibly well written and I enjoyed it, and it made me think a lot, which I appreciate, but it wasn't favorite book of all time, but I think it's worth reading. If you have any thoughts, I would love to hear them down below. Comment all of your thoughts. I'm going back to New York in a couple months, so if you have other bookstores or other books that take place in New York that you think I should read, please let me know. I would love to hear it. And if you want to see more of me, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!